Thank you all so much for coming to this incredibly important dedication that we're doing to somebody that we love. In January of this year, we learned that our dear friend Lesley Strutt's valiant battle with cancer was coming to an end. Lesley, as many of you know, was a remarkable woman. Not only was she immensely talented as a published author and poet, but her effusive personality was infectious, and you could not help feeling better and more optimistic after talking with Lesley. A small group of friends, Joelle and myself, Elena and Michael Venables, Leanne and John Mundy, and Beryl and Martin Green, reached out to each other to ask, what can we do to honor our friend? A number of suggestions were made. And following discussions with the Merrickville Artists Guild's executive, we seized on two actions. The first was to create a fund in Lesley's name to support existing and emerging poets. The fund grew quickly to almost $10,000 from generous donors in the village and beyond. With the input of Claudia Radmore, we had a close discussion about the possibility of involving the League of Canadian Poets. We realized that we could turn this fund into a national poetry prize that would honor Lesley's spirit for many years to come. We welcome this suggestion, and I'm pleased to report that Lesley Strutt Poetry Contest has been a big success. Donations to the fund continue to be made, and 163 submissions from across Canada have been received from poets. The League of Canadian Poets will announce the winner later this year. The second suggestion we acted upon was more local in scope. We felt that Merrickville, an arts-inspired community, needed a poet's bench, and we chose this location. With input from the Merrickville Legion and approval from the Municipal Council, we constructed this beautiful bench. I would like to thank Bram Dost for supplying the wood for this bench, Yves Grandmaître for assembling the bench, Brad Cole and Jonah Robinson for construction of the base, and of course, Chuck Williamson for the restoration of the antique iron sides. This was a real community-spirited event. It is fitting that we chose Merrickville's first Festival of the Arts to commemorate the Poets' Bench, and I feel that Lesley is here with us in spirit. The plaque reads, "This Poets' Bench is dedicated to the exuberant spirit of Lesley Strutt, wife, mother, poet, author, and educator. She was a friend to many and contributed greatly to culture and the arts in her community. Rest here and be inspired." I would like to invite Claudia Radmore to read two of Lesley's poems and would ask anyone else who would like to say a few words to step forward after, and we will invite everyone here to join us at the Legion to commemorate our first day of the Festival of the Arts. Claudia.
Thank you very much, Nick. First of all, I would like to congratulate you, the people of Merrickville. You know, in the olden days, poetry used to be a grand thing. Cities emulated their poets, and poets wrote grand things about life. And today that very seldom happens. But look at this town. Look what you are doing about poetry. And yes, Lesley might have been a springboard for that, but you were the ones that leapt on and kept it going and raised money and got enthusiastic. I've just been involved in the Lesley Strutt contest as one of the judges. It's been judged blindly. I have no idea who wrote the poems. We're at the final stages right now of selecting the poet who will win. I've also been I've been Lesley for a little while now. Jack, I know I can't be Lesley, but because Lesley gave me a little job to do, she had written a collection of poems which had been accepted by Inanna Press, and she was too ill to follow through. It takes a long time to go through the edits. There are various editors. There are copy editors. There are layout people to work with and design people. And Lesley wasn't here to do that, so I've had to be Lesley. And at times that's been a lot of fun. At times it's been very hard. Lesley was not a simple person. She was fairly complicated in a beautiful way. And to show that, look at all of us, so diverse and just excited to be here. So these two poems are from that book that will be published within the next few months. The first is called Stories. Snow feathers into spring and mid-morning. Crystal water in crystal glass. The guests arriving. Fox, bear, cougar, jay, a crow or two. We tell our stories and toast the planet. Hunger, fear, death, birthing to come. Celebration, a grief, a friend missing. The clink of nail or beak on glass. I'm not sure which. And all is silent as we rest in stories we chew on, stories we spit out, stories we drop to the ground, fertile, ready to grow into life, mightily. And those will be your stories. That poem had a lot of themes in it that really interested Lesley to the very minute that she left us. In the next poem, which is called Surrender, there are spaces, and she reminds us in this poem to stop and don't race on through things and take account what our words mean. Surrender. Surrender to the sounds around us. I take a breath, decant the air, smell not sorrow, not grief. The damp is not tinged with death. It lasts longer than my swift intake, shorter than my life. Elegance is not what I am seeking, and yet it is here, pungent, deep and still, waiting where it always was, among the dying lilies, steepled branches, under moss, dark vines where birches lean like thin men on a long journey. Somewhere they have not reached yet. I cannot offer anything I think is valuable. I'm useless. Useless as a child's sun hat tossed on the wind. But look, how sudden is the red against that great blue. And when you read this poem on your own, you'll be saying, useless? Anyway, she will give these poems to us very soon. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to read them in her voice.
Folks, that concludes our dedication. It's been a wonderful opportunity to express our love and joy, and Lesley will continue to inspire us and will be in our hearts. If there's anybody else who would like to say a few words, please do so. More than welcome. No? Then come by here every once in a while, have a seat, think of Lesley, and encourage your friends to come and rest as well. And join us at the Legion at 6:30 if you would like to help celebrate the Festival of the Arts. Thank you for coming.